Welcome, you're listening to Resilient Brown Mommas, three women searching for understanding as we navigate motherhood, mental health, love, and life. I'm Sheena B.
I'm Sonia G.
And I'm Mika Rose. Don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts so other resilient women can find us.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Resilient Brown Mommas podcast, episode 20. And this week, the Resilient Brown Mommas are going to discuss, drum roll please, bang, 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 beep, 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 beep.
The best thing ever.
Ever.
You can call me a foodologist. I have a PhD. Actually, I have a triple PhD in food. It is my favorite pastime. It's my favorite thing to do. I like to eat. I like food. If there's something to know about food, I know about it.
Don't forget to eat food.
And I eat food. I eat. You hear me? The way to, when they say the way to your heart, the way to my heart is through food.
That's not only for men. So thank you for throwing that out there. Because it's not only for men. I want people to stop thinking that.
No, you take me out to eat. You be like, oh, I want to take you out to eat. And all of a sudden I forget about all the other mess going on. Like, it's really bad. It like blinds me. Like, and then you take me to a good place. I won't see the red flags.
No, because you're too full.
Right.
And the truth is, so this was all sparked because we were talking. Well, Sheena always wants a Big Mac. She'll tell you, this girl probably eat a Big Mac every week, right? When she was pregnant, she ate one every day. Just because I was like, this can't be good for the baby. But Jada here, she an athlete. It's okay. And you too, yeah, you did admit. Now, my McDonald's thing, because now we're talking about McDonald's specifically, because that's where all this came from, was I would have a breakfast sandwich every morning when I was pregnant with Ducky. Loved it. But when we had a passionate conversation about the apple pie, R.I.P., that McDonald's foolishly discontinued in their attempt to make stuff more healthy.
Can we start a petition?
I feel like, no, I'm going to call corporate myself daily. Because the way that they just snatched that pie from underneath of us.
Yeah. It was like a piece
Can somebody else describe? Because I'm going to describe the pie, but I feel like when I describe it, I need to get naked. All right? We don't want that to happen. So I need y'all to describe this apple pie.
So y'all tell me, Resilient Brown community, y'all tell me if y'all remember the old school McDonald's apple pie.
Little bubbly, crispy bubbles.
That McDonald's apple pie used to come in a double side package. You would flip up one end and you would hold it and eat it like this. The reason because it was hot.
Yes.
It was piping hot. And when
you had to bite into it.
Oh. And when you pushed it up.
That was a good burn. I know
burn you right in the corner of your mouth,
but I can't. I know I just burnt my mouth, but I gotta go in for some more.
When you pushed it up, it had this nice, bubbly, crispy outside. This pastry-like, bubbly, crispy outside that was coated. Actually, it wasn't even coated in cinnamon and sugar, if I'm not mistaken. But when you bit into it, it was so hot, you used to burn the corners of your mouth, and you'd be like, but you never let go.
No.
You never let go.
And then you went back.
That was my favorite. Like when my parents used to be like, I'm going to treat you to McDonald's today. And I would be like, oh, I want a Happy Meal or whatever I was getting. I would always ask, can I get an apple pie?
That pie will start and end wars. That pie. And I'm proud as they might, nobody can make that pie.
Nobody.
With that being said, they need to bring it back. You said it can start and end wars. Well, now is the right time. Let's bring it back.
So I did some research
on the table of negotiations.
I did some research.
Okay.
So you can get that nostalgic apple pie in two places: Hawaii in California.
I'm packing. I'm packing. I choose Hawaii. I'm going back.
What?
I don't.
California?
And I think the reason is based on the laws there, like surrounding food, right?
Oh.
So they can still carry it. So you can get it in those two places.
I'm gonna get it in one of them two places.
Yeah.
So
What? Wow. But McDonald's made a couple of missteps over the years. Number one, people be sad about the McRib. I will never let that touch my mouth. I don't know what it was made of. It didn't look right.
it
But the
didn't
other
even have no
thing,
bone.
no, it didn't have. And the only people that can give me something and say it's a rib without a bone is the Chinese people, and they give you that little pink thing with the burnt ends, and they used to give it to you for $2 at the little corner place that they had that little white buns with the little swirl kind of top, and they would slice it in half, and they would put that little pink rib in the middle for $2.
I remember that's first off, that's a Boston oldie but goodie. That's a
Yes.
Boston
In my
oldie
head,
but goodie.
I'm trying to place it, and I'm like,
Oh, you know your spare ribs? You know how you get the spare ribs
yeah,
back in
but you're saying
the
like the
spare ribs?
bun and yeah. Of course, we got to do this.
We
Yeah.
have to do this because but we didn't question it. But that McRib, that wasn't that. I don't know what that was. It was something else.
Okay. Since we're talking about, we didn't question it. Fordham
Meat on a
Road.
stick. Meat on a stick. Meat on a stick.
Fordham Road meat on a stick with the little piece of bread on the top. What was that meat? Now that now that we're older and now that we care, or we even think, what was that meat?
It was the best
Mystery meat.
$2 meat on a stick I've ever had.
Wait, and they got to put the sauce on it.
And then you would be like, Papi, can you put the sauce on it? And he squirt that sauce in that. Who knows if he even washed that squirt bottle, but that's a story for another day. We're not
The
talking
squirt
about
bottle
that.
was
Squirt
the
bottle.
least
How
of
about
them.
his hands? Because he's out there all day long.
He probably picked his butt, wiped all. But that, let me tell you, that meat, look, y'all, we used to get on the train from Westchester to Fordham Road to go shopping. We'd have all of our bags in our hands. And before we got back on the train to go home, we had to stop to get the meat on the stick from Poppy on the corner. He'd have the whole Fordham Road smelling like barbecue, like smoke. But you would give him that $2 for that meat on the stick, and
Marinade.
it would be the best meal that you've ever had.
You got full, didn't you? Off
You
of
got
one
full.
little strip. I never remember. And it was in a little the little wax bag. Sometimes they just hand it to you with the little paper.
Yes.
I know the ones in Boston had a little wax bag. You know, when I finally was like, this is not for me. And this happened to me in two different establishments. When I went, I was in it was in Manhattan this time. I think I just got off the Chinese bus. And I had to get my street meat, mystery meat, whatever you want to call it. And the man was inside picking his toes. And that happened to me at a Chinese restaurant in Gaithersburg as well. Now, I still ate the food in Gaithersburg.
Can't record no. I can't record no more.
And I think I still ate the food because he just touched the
Yeah.
And I imagine that when he cooked the meat, that he got rid of whatever was on the feet, or maybe he didn't touch his feet until after he did that. I don't know. But all I know is after that, I said, I didn't feel right. I'm never going to eat this street meat again.
I
That was
can't.
many years ago.
Only Mika. I have to say, only Mika.
True.
Only Mika. Okay.
So
let's
broaden it, right? Because we're talking about Fordham Road, but let's broaden it to every brown mama that's listening, right? Because in every place of the world, of the United States, there's a hood, right? Because
it is what it is.
It is what it is. In every hood across America, there is, Mika said, a Chinese place. The outside looks like it's been burned down 25 times.
And should.
The inside looks like it's never been renovated. It's never been cleaned.
And ain't.
They're always open. They're always nasty.
Behind the glass.
And behind the glass, and the food be popping.
Back door always open.
Back door always open, I think, for the stray cats to walk
In
through.
case you run out of food.
Yes. But the food was always popping. You would walk in and you would get that fried rice with 4 chicken wings, or that chicken and broccoli, or that
chicken wings with the French fries.
with the chicken wings with the French fries. Or you would get what's it called? That shrimp and if you was fancy and you had like an extra $2 to spend, you would get that shrimp and broccoli with that white rice. And they say, well, what kind of can soda you want? And you get the canned soda.
Right, because it was always a canned soda with a
It
dirty
was
top.
always the canned soda.
Top always dirty.
Yeah.
You just wipe it off and keep going.
Every time you walk out of there and you enjoy your food, you take a second to think and you're like, I shouldn't have eaten this. I'm not going back. I'm gonna stop eating Chinese food.
But you don't. You don't stop. Because it was the cheapest meal. No, for $10 you could feed 2 people.
What? Now they done got crazy. Now I know y'all got this meat for free. You wanna know how I know we ain't gonna go there? Because you was on the news. But at the end of the day, it still hit how it's supposed to hit. Now what I'm upset about is I felt betrayed because I was well into my 30s when I found out that lobster sauce was never lobster. It's pork.
Wait, I don't know what aspect of that I'm more mad at. The fact that it is not lobster sauce, or that it took you until you were 30 to realize that.
So I'm 43. It could have been last year. I'm never going to admit to that part, but all I know is that I know in Boston, and Sheena will attest to this, all Chinese food is not created equal.
No.
But Massachusetts Chinese food, Boston city specifically, is superior. Okay. So by that, one thing we are known for is our rice. It is almost black. Okay.
Yes.
So that when I see brown rice with all these peas and corn, I'm like, what are we talking about? It's supposed to be onions and little black pellets that are rice. Okay. And the way that it hits the MSG, honey, the MSG hits, okay, deep in your soul. But the lobster sauce, when you look it up, because that's what I did, I looked it up online because I said there's got to be a way for me to do this because Maryland lobster sauce, hold your breath, is clear.
Yeah.
It's clear. And the egg foo young sauce, it's clear. So, and I'm not eating that. I'm not gonna say why. We're all adults here, but I never know if my parents are gonna listen. I'm not eating that. So I looked online.
Is it a trick? It reminds you of something else?
It reminds you of something else.
Oh. Couldn't do that either.
Which is okay for some people.
Do that either.
I don't want to play them.
Do that either.
I swallow.
Somebody else take over. I'm done. But that's all I gotta say is that's how I looked it up, and then I found out that it's pork. And
I'm joking, guys. By the way, I'm joking.
Look. I'm grown.
I am grown.
I'm the most grown one here.
You just don't want it. It's not what it is. But street food is superior. And when you said that, I smelled the roasted nuts downtown crossing.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. You know what? For me, it's such an awesome smell, but it was never anything that like I had to have.
You just knew
I don't think I've ever had a bag of roasted nuts before.
And it was a honey roasted, so it had like that coating on it with that sugar and that salt, baby. And they would just have it in them because something about them wax bags. And that's the only you could walk down the street covered in powdered sugar because right next to it was the funnel cake. I mean, it's nothing like city street
so
food.
Do they still sell roasted nuts in the streets in New York? Like who's
So because now these new people got the allergies. We didn't have them in the 80s and 90s.
You don't have to buy it, but I want to say yes. It just depends on where you go, right? Because the meat on the stick was not only Fordham, but also Third Avenue, right? So places like that, I think, might still, or even in Manhattan, they might still sell the nuts.
And what about the mango lady? When Sheena took me down the street and I saw how did every single mango? I can't find good mangoes at the store. How every single one you cut open, mommy? How is juicy? And they do bow. It's a flower.
Yeah, on the stick. She would either sometimes you could get it where they put it on the stick and then they cut it up, bang, 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 or you can get it in the bag. Oh, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Let's bring it back. Bring it back, y'all. Bring it back, y'all.
Go ahead.
To all of my West Indian, Caribbean people, the ganepas.
Because you bite that little, and then you get that little top part off, and
The
then it
ganepa.
reveals that little jelly-like
Listen,
seed with the sour and the sweet.
Sonia, speak on it.
before I was old enough to know that they actually sold it in New York, in the Bronx, that was one of the things I looked forward to our little visits to Puerto Rico. Because I can sit on, the porch, and my grandma's the driveway was considered also part of the porch. And I can sit there and eat that all day long.
Oh,
And then as I got older, I'm like, yo, I can buy this at any time I stop at a red light.
anytime. Such a simple fruit, such a simple fruit.
Yeah.
But so nostalgic to me for like when I think of summertime, I think of ganepas, I think about the meat. Well, the meat on the street was all year round. But the mangoes and the ganepas definitely like a summertime, like you look for, that was part of summer, right?
Yep.
Speaking of part of summer, what about the icy dude, the icy lady or the icy man? Every neighborhood had their own icy lady or icy man with the cart. And back in because now they're expensive now. But back in the day, you used to have your two quarters or your dollar, depending on what size you wanted. And Poppy would be like, "You want small, mommy? You want large?" Large used to cost $1, and the small used to be 50 cents. And Poppy was so dope. Mommy was so dope. They let you mix your colors, mix your flavors.
I got one better. I know what we used to, well, the snow cones, right?
Yes.
With the dirty towel on the block of ice.
Yes.
And
And
they would
nobody
shave the ice. They would shave it.
Nobody batted an eye.
Nobody, like, it was not a thought to me that this towel was on and off, on and off.
It was
Like,
protecting it from the flies.
He touched the dirty money, scraped your ice, touched the towel, and did it again. And
Made
not
that
one,
ball.
because we, and I'm saying this because we all up in arms about COVID and germs.
Because I'm a germaphobe now. Never. I'm not doing it.
We was eating germs all day.
and we were fine. There was no pandemic.
Now you eat something like that, it's on the news. Right now, there's a listeria outbreak. All the dairy, all the cheese, all the meat. Like you can't have a cold cut right now because of listeria. And then after that, it's the hepatitis on the lettuce. Like none of this stuff was happening on the street because I know in the morning I would have the shaved ice snow cone. In the afternoon, you would get a paleta from the paleta man who was making the paletas at his house right next to where he made the
Everybody fine.
and then in the evening, you had an Italian icy. That never happened.
Wait, what about the pickle in the jar? What about the pickle in the jar at
the
the bodega?
Listen, not the jar. Not the jar. For me, it was the bag. We would get the bag. Now I remember the one in the jar. But I used to get the one in the bag. Way to school, sipping on the juice. Yeah. You can't get me to do it right now for no.
But the one when it depending on your bodega and okay, so remember I spent summers in Boston and I spent, the rest of my time in New York. So I may be mixing up areas and things. But I specifically remember my bodega had the jar. And when you wanted a pickle, I think it was like $1.25 or something like that. And depending on how clean or the dude was, either he'd take his hand and drop it in a bag for you, or he would use a fork or a tongue.
We had a tongs.
I ain't never see a fork or a tongue.
But
I don't know what a tongue was until I got older and like
the pickle, and the jar wasn't sitting at the deli. The jar was sitting at the register where you would be like, "Give me a pack of Skittles. Give me a pack."
It was an impulse buy.
It was an impulse buy.
It was right there. Okay, so I have a question. Is there, while we're talking about nostalgia, food, is there a dish that brings back those childhood memories for you that was like, it was only mom that could make it the right way.
I got two. I got two. One, the first one is ambrosia. When's the last time you've seen ambrosia?
That's fancy too, though.
When's the because if you don't make that ambrosia with the canned fruit salad, it's not ambrosia. And today at 41, what is it, 2024, I don't eat nothing out of a can.
No.
I don't
Why
think
would you eat stuff out the can?
I don't eat no fruit out the can.
I've ever eaten ambrosia.
Oh my God. It
Yeah.
was not whipped cream. Not was it cottage cheese?
I don't know, but it was like a multi kind of finish to it. I can't describe these. It was like a
It was so delicate in your mouth. So it was fruit salad drained.
Okay.
And I believe it was not cottage cheese, because cottage cheese is bumpy. Not cottage cheese.
not sour cream.
Was it yogurt or
But it
something?
was
It could have been yogurt. And it
because
was
it was
all
like a custardy kind of.
and something else. It was something else mixed in it. It could have been like condensed milk or something, all mushed into one, like a fruit salad, but it was creamy and it was so delicious. It wasn't overly sweet, but just sweet enough.
It wasn't my favorite. Mine was definitely tapioca pudding when it gets in that kind of area.
Oh,
But go ahead.
yes. It would be in the same position. Now we call it a parfait.
Yeah,
Now it's
yeah.
a parfait. You know what I mean? My second thing, please scream when I holler. A blimpie sub.
No, I said what mom used to make.
There's nothing that my mother used to make that I'm yearning for today.
Okay. But I'm with you.
When I say absolutely nothing,
no, but
I keep telling.
I'm with you.
Sorry, Mom. I keep telling y'all, my mom is not known for her cooking.
Okay.
My mom makes desserts. She still make the same dessert. I'm not yearning for it.
I'm there with you on the blimpie.
And the reason why blimpies hit so hard,
I want to know what yours was, but that blimpie, which is now Jersey Mike's, right?
Yeah. No. So, and the reason why blimpies hit so hard, because I used to go there with my dad. That was like our thing. Like that's what we did, right? But blimpies used to be owned by two guys. And one of the guys broke away. And then at some point, he ended up opening up Jersey Mike's, which is why Jersey Mike's is so similar to Blimpies.
Yes.
I did not know that.
I know that until about what, like 5 years ago, Nisi, who we interviewed on the show, told me that. And I was always wondering why Jersey Mike's reminds me of Blimp.
Yeah.
And
I love a good cold cut. I stopped eating them because now I have all these food fears. All you need is one like disease infection. All I have to do is have one thing happen to my gut, and now I'm like, oh. And I love a good cold cut, but
I'm going down with the shit, baby. I'm going down.
I never like I'm not I haven't been for many years like a cold cut person. Like I stopped that as well. I mean, I grew up on them, but I stopped as well. You know, for a lot. I don't do it. It's very rare that I do the cold cuts.
When that was my first request. When some people want sushi after they have a baby, I wanted a Jimmy John's sub after I had Ducky, and I bust that thing all the way down because I didn't want to have it while I was pregnant with her because of listeria. I was like, it's not worth it. I didn't eat any hot dogs. I didn't have any cold cuts. But the minute she came out, I want the big joint with the side of chips.
So Sonia, what is your nostalgia food?
I'm gonna say, and that's the reason why I brought it up, because in my mind, it took me back to this whole conversation. Took me back to the memory of my mother making, well, a few things. I love cornmeal porridge, and
some last week. Love it.
Let me just tell you this:
you have it sweet.
Sweet.
Yes.
I did not know until about 4 years ago that, like, I walked into a Jamaican restaurant and I saw it on the menu. And I said to myself, because I haven't learned how to make it. Like, that's one of the things for my mother I have not even attempted to, right? But I said, let me just try it to see if it's the same or how similar it is. Girl, it's the same.
It knocked your socks off.
It's the same.
Oh,
I said, Mommy,
okay.
Jamaican all of a sudden, Mommy, girl, it's the
I
same.
love it.
Oh my God, I'm home.
I'm not a porridge girl, but I'm a grits girl.
Whenever I miss my Nana, I make a bowl of cornmeal cereal, which is often.
So that's that story. But really, my favorite, and I haven't heard anyone else talk about this other than some Puerto Ricans, not all. It is another breakfast type of custard, but it's made with like the cornstarch that you cook with,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only cornstarch and the milk. It's like a farina, but the texture is different because it's cornstarch. And not have not heard too many people talk about that. But when I tell you it is made, if you gotta keep stirring it or else it'll lump up, you cannot
Yeah.
keep stirring it. But when it's done, like you put cinnamon in there, you put vanilla in there, you
Mm-hmm.
put, some salt, some sugar. Again, another form of like farina.
Yeah.
But that one, when it's done, there's like this layer on the top of the custard that's just like, oh, I just need to like skim that part off. That's the best part. That's the
Oh my
best part.
God.
And woo, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm finished. Are we done recording? Because I'm done.
He was
No,
like, I need a snack.
and my mom cooks, but I feel like she's known for like, oh, we going to Angie's house to have gumbo. We going to Angie's house to have this. I don't remember that. I didn't get that version of her. I feel like that was like she claims it was always that way, but my nana was that person in our family. Mom was more working. I think once my nana was, passed, then my mom had to. I just don't remember, and I don't want to take anything from her because maybe she did cook me a meal every day. But there, I remember going to get steak and cheeses all the time, going to get Chinese food, going to get slices. Like, I remember eating out more than eating in. But when we talk about kid foods, I was walking through Harris Teeter. I always call it Harris and Tweeters. But I was walking through Harris Teeter with Ducky, and I saw what's them little nasty TV meals, the little kids ones.
Banquet.
No, so not Grandpa still eats
The
those
one in the blue.
with the little animal and this kid
Yes, the
cuisine.
one.
Oh, okay, kids.
Kid cuisine. When I
Kid
said it,
cuisine.
and it was like little like it was like a little apple thing, like a heated apple thing, and then it was like a little vegetable and a little macaroni and then like chicken nuggets, right? Or like a little meat with like
Yep.
gravy.
Yep.
I used to live off of those things and chicken pot pies.
The
And that,
frozen ones that are $1 now. That
yeah,
I
and
will
then
eat
you
by.
put the hole with the fork in the top. You
And
made some little
it took an hour to cook. But when I in the summertime, because I would stay with my grandmother, she would buy me the blue kid cuisines. And my favorite part of the kid cuisine was the brownie. You remember the brownie?
little sprinkles on
My
top.
favorite part of those I'm gonna call them TV dinners because again we talking
Yes,
different
yes,
generations. Was the dessert?
The dessert.
yes.
But those pot pies hit different.
What, the little edges be all buttery, and then when you get to the middle and it's a little bit soft. What?
I never had the frozen ones, but
Oh,
Boston Market is the
I
first time I
never.
ever heard of a
Of a
pot pie.
pot pie. Mm.
What?
But I never, and that's where I've had them before, and I fell in love with them. But I never bought them like
Back
frozen
in the
to have that
day,
at home.
I made them one time too. I want to say by scratch, but it wasn't. Like I bought the dough, the Pillsbury
yeah.
dough, and then made the little pies and filled it with whatever. Pinterest. Pinterest got you doing. And this was years ago, like when Pinterest first started, and it was the best little thing. And I think I made it in the Texas, but it was considered winter. It
Yeah.
was just perfect. I'll do it again, but I'm the only one who likes really good food in my house, like in my family.
I know. No, Jada and I eat. Jada and I. So let me ask you a question. So we definitely talked about like nostalgia of food, like what we miss, what we love.
Feel away, like the cafeteria. You think
Yeah.
about it, you can smell
And
it.
cafeterias still smell the same way they did a million years ago when I was in school, by the way.
Nasty.
Now that our palate has changed, our palate has grown, we have elevated. There all of that, a lot of that stuff that we just talked about that we love and we miss, we probably if someone offered it to us now, we would turn up our nose, right? What is the one thing today that like because y'all both know what's on my list. Like, what's the one thing that you still keep, like, in your pantry, in your kitchen, or when you go to the store, like, you grab it because it makes you feel good? Like, it may be an oldie but goodie, but you still eat it today.
You go
Honey,
ahead. No, 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 no. You go. You go.
I just, before we started recording, I just had one. Apple turnover. Like
Yeah.
the unhealthy apple turnover that is in the plastic containers at the supermarket. That was one of my father's favorite desserts.
Oh,
And
It's
as
a
his
classic dessert. I love a good apple
as his
turnover.
child, I will go to the supermarket and there will be 2 apple turnovers in that plastic container.
mm.
And I will sit here with my cup of coffee. Every time I do it, I'm like, I'm not going to do it again. It's so unhealthy. I'm
Oh,
not going to have it again. I need to stop saying it.
let me tell you something. Where you're a good cook, and I know you could probably tear up like some meat, like cooking it. I think you need to purchase an Omaha steak package, right? Have you ever purchased from Omaha Steaks? It's
No.
like the what? So we had one right here in Gaithersburg. They have a store,
Yes, we do.
but you can buy like packs and packs of meat, and one of the sides that they give you is apple turnovers. And baby, one year I got it as a Christmas present from mom. It was back when we, started our family. And she sent us like big things of meat and steak and like little packs of filet mignon. And it was just like this whole little thing. It comes in a cooler. And one of the dessert, well, the only dessert that she sent was apple turnovers. And I wasn't really into apple desserts until Sheena. Sheena put me on because Sheena like her a good what is it called, Auntie? The apple
Um,
fritter. She's an
apple.
apple fritter person. And I was like, I never, I couldn't picture the chunks, but baby, you get them in the right place. But I'm telling you, if you get that Omaha steak, or when I get some money, I'll give you one. But those little turnovers, you put them in the oven, I eat them at night with a dollop of ice cream naked in the living room while everybody sleep.
Does
On
it taste
God.
better when you're naked? Is that what it is?
Everything that you like, eat it. Don't look. I don't put my raw booty on the couch. I put a little something. But let me tell you, honey, just bucket. Just
I'm gonna try it because I still have 1 apple turnover and I live by myself. So I'm going.
do
I'm
it.
Yep. And I'm still gonna have my coffee though. But
It's gonna taste better. It's gonna taste
try
better.
it. Try it naked next time.
So, Mika, what is the one thing that may be an oldie but goodie, but you still munch on every now and then?
Every now and then, daily, honey. I am a cereal baby. I'm a cereal killer. I know it's like there's some people like they won't touch cereal with a 10-foot pole. Baby, I got the little plastic containers because I got to be fancy like on TikTok because I got to treat my cereal right with the little top on it to make sure it's because I buy 8 boxes, 8 flavors at a time. So I need them to stay,
Right.
sealed and fresh. It's the worst thing you can eat. I may as well just drink a bottle of paint thinner. I know that. I can't pronounce anything on this side,
But
but I love cereal so much. I do. That's my thing.
Cereal's good. Cereal's a good one. Well, I'm
see,
gonna
that's
tell y'all what mine is.
in a long time.
See?
I'm gonna tell y'all what mine is.
I know it. I already know it.
You and that. Uh,
Yes, I do have a 1 pound bucket of pork rinds.
girl.
And you see,
She
there's
does.
nothing left.
She does. Yeah.
Hmm.
I love a good pork rind. So my mom eats meat out of, potted meat, Vienna sausages. I don't eat meat out of a can. I hate meat out of a can. She grew up on it. That's like her oldie but goodie, right?
Mom can live forever.
But
Because that's
mommy, when we were younger, she loves crackling. Remember, people down south, Puerto
what
Ricans, Dominicans eat crackling.
the
But she
Ruffles.
would always, when she would go to the store and she wanted like a snack, like she wanted to treat herself to a snack, she would get a bag of pork rinds. And I used to love them. I don't like slave food. I don't like, food,
You're
right?
not eating those chitlins.
I'm not eating it. I'm not
I'm not
touching it.
eating right.
There's levels to this, right? But a good pork rind, a seasoned pork rind,
Yeah, that doesn't go away. That doesn't go away.
Because it's different. I feel like it's a
It's
different
different.
level of
It
struggle.
hits different. And I'm not a pork eater. Like it's not like I go around eating all
It's
things
like a
pork.
snack, right?
But
There are things that we ate before. I could speak for myself that I will never, ever, ever, ever touch again, and I did not raise my child on it.
Yeah,
yes.
it's true.
Okay? Because I grew up. I remember as a little kid, our soups had the chicken feet in it.
Oh yeah.
Food had
Keep with it. With the
it in it.
little
And we used to eat, the Vienna sausage, right?
yeah,
Won't touch it. I will not. I will not.
yeah. There's some things I can't.
I mean, I know how I grew up and I know how I was raised. I don't mean as an adult, I can make my own decision.
And unpopular
Bologna.
opinion.
Bologna.
What?
If you've ever had a bologna sandwich, first off, if you
Right.
grew up, if you grew up poor,
That's my light.
if you grew up poor, you definitely had a bologna sandwich. Like there's no way you're gonna tell me you did not ever have a bologna sandwich. Those bologna sandwiches used to hit so hard with mustard. You
What?
can't get me to eat a bologna sandwich today.
No. And I definitely like when I put it in the pan and it will pop up in
And
the
it
middle.
would bubble up. When it
What?
bubbled up, it told you it was ready. And then the center of it would be like nice and crispy and brown.
What?
Tell me, tell me, tell
So,
me what you want. Tell me it wasn't good.
I won't eat a piece of
so we
bologna.
didn't we
I won't
didn't
do it.
do bologna, but we did salami that way.
I was gonna say I
Absolutely.
don't do salami neither.
Salami.
I do no.
And sometimes on an
I
Italian
like
sub,
salami.
when you
I like
treat yourself to an
salami.
Italian sub and they put all the meats and I can see
I like
that. All right.
salami.
Or
I
even
like
when
salami on a coochie board, on a charcuterie
that's
board.
like a little tray and it's rolled up and it got the little thing with the little olive. And then you know what I'm saying? I don't, but just to be sitting there like every day, like I'm gonna
Wow.
go home and have a ham sandwich. Like ham for me is something that you have on Christmas. You don't just walk around eating ham.
Wow.
I don't.
No.
Oh, you're talking about the ham. That was
Ham
Christmas, but the other ham was any freaking time.
Remember back in the day, you would go to the bodega and get a ham and cheese with lettuce, tomato, mayo, and whatever else on it for like $3.
Okay, because I was about to talk about prices. When you brought up your pork rinds, it really pissed me off about chips. I am a chip person. Okay, I need my chips, and I loathe when I look at the chip price because chips used to be 20.
Nope.
They're
And I
expensive.
would buy, and some days I would be on my same chip, four of the same chips, and then I get my orange soda, my grape soda, my Mystic, because the Mystic used to be,
Happen.
and then they went to 50 cents, then 75 cents. Now $2 for a little bag with all this air in the top. And then I'm mad because remember New York deli chips?
Yeah.
It was the first kettle chips. And you bit into them, but we had young teeth. I know back then my teeth was a lot younger because you would bite into them and it had a little greasy finish.
Yes.
25 cents a bag. Not
The
only
purple bag. The purple bag with the neon New York deli.
Yep.
commercial said New York deli, my purple passion. See?
Oh, you remember the jingle?
I didn't even know they had a jingle.
So
Every
y'all didn't need the jingle.
every bodega and store in New York had them.
You didn't
You just
need
made up the jingle, or they had a jingle?
We needed the jingle in Massachusetts because we had the commercial because you had to know it was there. See, y'all already knew it was there,
Oh, okay.
but it wasn't
I
our
mean,
thing.
we're New York, so
So that's
Wait.
why.
I can't. It hit me, and I cannot move forward without letting it go. Who here has ever had a mayonnaise sandwich?
I won't do it. I was
I've
never that.
never had a mayonnaise sandwich,
I've heard about it,
but my
but
cousins
some
used
people
to
put
do it.
onions on it.
No.
My cousins used to do it.
Mayonnaise sandwich or butter. I remember doing that.
I would have butter toast now as a snack.
I did butter toast. Like I would
Same thing, except you.
I would eat the whole loaf of bread.
Because bread was good back then.
I would toast a whole loaf of bread and eat it in one sitting.
And my nana had money, but somehow she still had government cheese, that long block that was in the brown thing. She would spice that cheese.
They were giving it out. You go get it.
You go get it and you put it on that bread and you make that little. Sometimes you do an open face one. Sometimes you make the actual grilled cheese. But even the butter was in a big old. The butter was a government butter.
Can we talk about the big block of government? Like, you haven't lived if you didn't have the cereal that said no frill. It just said cereal. You didn't know what the hell was in it.
Surprise,
Wait, instead of Fruit Loops, it said Fruit Oops.
surprise, surprise.
Yo, that big old block of cheese, and you would have to be like,
Yeah,
to
it was
get
a
the.
process because it would hold on in that little box. But boy, was it creamy. And as I got older and they stopped, I couldn't find it. I said, what is equivalent? And the only cheese I found that was equivalent was Land O'Lakes. So Land
Yeah,
O'Lakes is as close as you're gonna get as far as I
yeah.
know.
And
And
consistency and taste. Yeah.
yeah, and that man, oh, that just takes me back. See, y'all about to make me go eat everything. And I'm that person that go to the grocery store, like I'm gonna get all healthy things and then get home and be mad, like all lettuce turn brown. I ain't making no salads. Like I want a seafood boil.
Right. So,
Okay, so
we got a few more minutes.
okay,
Right?
Okay,
you
that's
mentioned
awesome.
salad. I told Sheena the other day, I had someone come here and do like a, you know how they come to your house and they do a physical for like insurance reasons, whatever.
Yeah.
So this lady, come in here, right? And you know how they ask your history about your medical history, whatever. So of course I had to share the whole cancer thing, whatever, right? So she feels like, I guess, with kindred spirits, she shared her story. She obviously was, was a thriver as well, whatever. So she asked me my weight. I reluctantly told her. So she says, "Oh yeah." And I share my experience, like, "Oh, I guess I'm not happy with what I said," right? She's like, "Yeah, I've been doing, salads lately, and I dropped, like, ask her, and I dropped some weight, and my stomach was out to here, and now it's all gone." I said, "Oh, okay." I ain't saying nothing else, right? She said, I said, "Yeah, I'm not much on salads." She's like, "Well, what did you have for lunch?" Philly cheesesteak.
The whole, the whole.
Right. The big one.
Well, I mean, we are talking about how we love food. Like, don't talk to me about salads.
What?
No,
I love a good salad, though. I love a good salad, but it got to be filled to the brim.
Because the salad ain't. Because the thing about about us folks, and you already know, the salad ain't. Now it's no longer a salad. Now
No.
it's a grinder without bread. Okay,
Yes.
just say what it is, and that's
It
what
got
you.
to have all the things. It got to
My
have the
favorite
oil and
dressing is blue
vinegar.
cheese dressing. There's nothing healthy about blue cheese dressing. Not a damn thing. Nothing. And I just slather it on there. You can't even see the salad for the dressing. And there's meat, cheese. If I can slide some bread in there, I got croutons. I'm scooping it up with bread.
that's my kind of salad.
That's
Well,
what
y'all,
grinder.
speaking to y'all about this food right now got me really hungry right now.
Mouth is hurting inside.
Got a steak on the stove.
Cannot wait to go and eat. Today is Super Bowl Sunday. We
Uh,
are rooting for the Chiefs, who are going
okay.
against the 49ers today. But the Resilient Brown Mama podcast, we rooting for the Chiefs.
I don't put words in my mouth. I ain't rooting for nobody. I'm rooting for myself and that steak.
I don't know who's playing, so there go that.
Sonia said my stomach is the only one that matters.
Don't win.
I don't even know who's playing.
Well, I say Super Bowl because Super Bowl, when the Super Bowl is on, it brings food.
What's the first food we're gonna say as soon as on the count of three? What's the first Super Bowl food that comes to mind? One,
Wayne.
two. I didn't get to three yet, girl. No, you
Okay.
don't. Okay, we're gonna do it again. The wings for sure. It used to be buffalo wings, but you know what? I never knew the beauty of a lemon pepper wing. People were talking about it. I was like, that can't be good. I go to my homegirl's house years ago, 9 years ago maybe, and I had my first lemon pepper wing in my whole life. Changed. It was so good. And now they got lemon pepper Old Bay, lemon pepper honey, lemon pepper parmesan.
Oh,
Well,
if you're from the
love wings,
DMV,
period. I love wings.
them Old Bay wings slap
Like
any
they can have
single time.
Old Bay
Those I
everything.
haven't had.
Oh,
No,
they
okay. When
Old
you
Bay
come to
everything.
visit the next time, we're gonna do Old Bay because they slap every time.
Old Bay goes on everything.
Everything.
But the wings,
Cereal,
I'm glad you said that.
grits.
I'm going to say this really quickly. This summer, I experimented with Obey and mango.
so
Yes.
I
Everybody thinks I'm crazy for when
No.
No. It's a thing.
Without obey now.
It's a thing.
So I was in my kitchen one day because I'm a big watermelon person. And I said when I was a kid, everybody would put salt on their watermelon. It wasn't my thing. But I was looking at my Old Bay and I sprinkled that Old Bay on that watermelon and my life just changed.
On everything. It goes on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it could end world hunger, but that's just me. Everybody was trying.
Definitely on to something.
Let's do.
We're definitely on to something.
They're just going to keep silencing me, so I'm not going to say nothing, but y'all know.
Well, ladies, I am hungry.
Me too. I'm going to Panera. What you going to get?
I'm going to get Super Bowl food.
And then Sonia, you got your steak. What's going with the steak? Potatoes? Rice?
Nope. I'm good with just the steak. I don't do. There's a lot of things I don't do. The rice, potatoes, that heavy stuff. I'm good with just steak.
I had steak for breakfast this morning because I made steak yesterday. Steak and potatoes and fresh broccoli for dinner last night. And then I had steak and grits for breakfast this morning. But now I'm going to go eat. Because I eat. I eat good. If there's nothing else I'm going to do in the world is I'm going to eat.
Okay.
That's today.
In Jesus' name.
Eat, worship God.
Amen. Well, Resilient Brown mamas in the community, I am going to attach a poll to this episode. So after you watch the episode, I want you to answer the question. Okay? You can either share your favorite nostalgic food or snack, or you can let us know if any one of ours was your favorite. All right? But we enjoy you guys. We love you guys. Mika, take us out.
All right, I'm going to take y'all out. You know, you can listen to our podcast anywhere that you listen to your podcast, Resilient Brown Mamas. We're on all social media, and you have to join our Facebook community. We love you guys. Remember to stay fly, be resilient, and eat your food naked.
I agree.
Well, I guess that's it, y'all. We love you. Peace.